Hi everybody, Army P here for eXplorminate.net, and welcome to our continuation of playing Stellaris with the new expansion Utopia installed. Now if you remember from last time, we got ourselves mixed into a federation with a questionable race. Gonna top that up a little bit. The Groll Ferp Interstellar Empire, who is a part of our federation. He invited me. Seemed like a pretty cool cat, so I accepted. Probably shouldn't have, because unfortunately, even though he is a xenophile, which means he loves other races, he's authoritarian, which means that he digs having slaves. And he's also militaristic. Now, if you remember from our Army P Republic choices, we were going to play as a mostly peaceful race. Don't get me wrong, we're not scared of war, but we also don't seek it. And that's the way that have been playing this. Well, the reason that looks like there is no leader there is because we actually don't have a leader right now. So we will deal with that dilemma in a second. Now, that being said, I ineffectually tried to show you guys all about the interpolitics of the map as we see it, and one of our awesome eXplorminators and YouTube followers, Fred Wolf, said, "Hey Army P, you're doing this way harder than it needs to be. Why don't you just turn on the diplomatic map mode? This map mode will show you who is liking somebody else." Well, attitude map mode, is that what we're going with? There's a lot of different options here. The diplomatic map mode, I believe, is empire borders will be colored based on their diplomatic relations to the selected empire. So I believe right now I'm selected, so you can see. Apparently yellow is loyal because that's my vassal that I'm currently got with the Saigagan League, which will be integrated shortly. I would say that purple is Federation. This is our Federation. Red would be who's ticked at us. And blue is who is we're in good standing with. So you can see right here that generally speaking, we are, aside from the Saigagan League that we're going to be integrating, looks like we're in pretty good standing with most of the actual universe. Just more curious about the Sacred Ventricis Empire, but we're in good standing. But you can see here, for the most part, no one hates us, and that's what we were going for. It's like being Canadian, you know? If we're bombing you, you really have to question what your motives are in life, because we're pretty peace-loving people. But if we're kicking the crap out of you, you really have to, you know, take a step back and reevaluate your life. So that being said, we're going to take that back here, and man, opinion map mode. I think this is the opinion of each other. Yeah, there you go. It's opinions of each other. This is really helpful when it comes to a game that maybe you haven't picked up in a long time, you know, like your attitude. So yeah, like just say you've been playing the game and enjoying yourself, and then you had to put it down for a couple days. You come back, because this is one of those games where, you know, you don't do that and you might be a little lost, and you can find out exactly whatever AI thinks of you. But now, brass tacks time. We are in the middle of a war, just in case you forgot. So what happened was, this is the Zum Stellar Concordiate started to get saucy. And I say that, you know, reluctantly, because, I mean, look at that horse face. I mean, if you're not... I'm fairly certain the shipment of apples stopped, and that'd take off any horse face. So we have been invading their territory. We crushed their military. I don't believe they have anything of significance, and we're in several different locations doing the exact same thing we're going to be doing to his entire empire, which is 100% conquering. So, that being said, we are going to continue with the war effort. Because as soon as this is done, get the funny feeling we're going to be in one of those fast forward modes. Well, we'll see. Who knows? These games have a tendency to really surprise me. But in the meantime, we got a ruler election. I have lost my leader. And you can see here that I've actually got several different races to choose from. Unfortunately, with the integration of my vassal, which is the Saigagan Union, I don't know if I really want to, you know, invest deeply with a cost of 200 influence. So I'm going to abstain, and I'm going to let the random chance of the random number generator figure out where we're going to be, because we're in the middle of a war. Like, I mean, like, seriously, this seems insane to me that you would pick a random order in the middle of a war. But because we're winning, if we were using or losing the war, we might, you know, pick one particular leader that would best suit it. But the Army P Republic believes in freedom for all races. And who am I to, you know, knock down a tiny little fox person or some type of gelatinous slug who lives in a shell? Probably tastes really good with some lemon and garlic. I am not a judgmental man. Additionally, we're also playing a race of giant floating vegetables. So, let's see what we got. Turns out, ooh, this is interesting. We chose lintel. So I got that. Previously the governor of Relash to become ruler. He's about national purity. National purity, which means that his alien migration attraction is down by 10%, but talent influence is up by 10%. So that's always good, right? I mean, talent influence is pretty negligible. The one thing that I'm happy about, though, is plus 10% happiness. It always ends up helping. So, once into the breach again, my good friends. I'm going to turn this to fast. So, what do we got here? Where is my transport? Oh, there we are. Okay, so we're going to land some armies. Land some armies, the army pays. I really enjoyed this game. This has been a really fun game. It's been interesting close contacts, interesting wars. Been a couple things. Oh, we got an invasion going on. Ooh, look at this. Just when you thought the Army P had it right. Welcome to You're Destroyed. That's it. Enemy planet secured. We are going to let them rest. I'll tell you, having these bonuses is just huge, though. Plus 15% health, plus 75% damage modifier, and my army upkeep is minus 55. So we really should be looking at pretty much a complete and utter victory pretty soon. I mean, there's really not a lot of planets left that we can actually do this. Okay, he's got it. I don't know where exactly he's getting this. What we can do here. We're going to send that fleet up. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Get rid of these small fleets. I really don't like them. And we've got a bombing brigade. We got here, and launch this. And the invasion continues. Wow, what an undeveloped planet. So this is a brand new planet that we ended up developing. The reason I did this is because it turns out that the I actually wanted to, I uplifted the Zavani. And the reason I did that was because they had this planet has unstable tectonics, gives me -10 habitability, plus or -5% happiness, but the engineering output was where I wanted to be. And it looks like my citizens, my happy peons, are flooding to this planet, which is shocking to me. Well, we might as well at least top this up. We got habitability plus minerals, so we'll keep minerals for the time being. Everything else we're going to try to at the very least try to get both research yeah, we should be in good shape there. That'll be enough for them to build. Now we can pay attention to how our battle's going. At this point, what we're really doing is mopping up because our Federation has decided that we're going to go to war. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm actually pretty shocked. At this point, it's a little strange, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that our horse-faced friends actually have a defensive pact with somebody else that it didn't really matter, quite frankly. But we've gotten to the point where there's almost no point in even fighting anymore because, quite frankly, it's over. So at 78%, I don't know, do I have a ticking war score? We don't. Now this is one of the things I've actually been kind of interested in, and I can't quite find an answer for it yet. Haven't gone to the official forums and asked, but you can see on the left hand side, it'll break down why you have a particular war score that you do. So we have a war score of 81. We've accumulated those by occupation of 58. We're blockading none because blockading has been removed in 1.5. So the UI has not been updated to, delete that. We've gained 23 war score points from our battles, but interestingly enough, it says war goals 0. Now, the idea here is that if I'm going to read the text, this is the accumulated war score gained from the war demands, which give a ticking war score. I've never seen a ticking war score in vanilla Stellaris. I have a mod that does that. I'm not using it currently because it hasn't been updated to 1.5. But that being said, if I decided to wanted to, occupy, planet Hif or Hifness, technically speaking, due to my thing, I should have a ticking war score. If you're not, if you don't know what a ticking war score is, you're watching this going, Army P, what's a ticking war score? Okay, I'll tell you. Whenever you have accomplished one of your war goals, let's say you wanted to secede a certain particular planet, okay? Once you invade that planet and hold it with ground troops, you essentially get 1% per month of a ticking war score. So every month it will continue. So let's say that you have 5 different war goals and you've accomplished all 5 of them, but whomever you're fighting against is a part of a federation or perhaps a huge defensive alliance. Instead of having to invade a huge vast of your perfect, we're crushing them down, we're good. Instead of having to invade a huge crush of the alliance's planets, what you can actually do is just wait for your ticking war score to increase, because at 5 per month, you can, within 4 months, you can have 20%. So the whole idea behind that is to try to get not only the AI, but your player to initiate and really push hard to not only holding war score goals, but actually to defend them as well. So if you were, let's say one of your planets got invaded, you shouldn't ignore it, because if there was a ticking war score, it could actually turn against you very quickly. We got a big battle here in this remnant sector? No, we don't. It's pretty much crushed. And at 84, I don't know. Admiral gains a trait. Following a recent sensor sweep of the Jomfrin system, Admiral Grum has learned a way to deploy his units to maximize their sensor range. Few fleet commanders possess this skill to carry out such complex maneuvers. Sounds good to me. Looks like I'm gaining quite a bit of nummy nums when it comes to my minerals. So I'm one of those guys that if I got it, I spends it. What's my leader? Oh, 13. Yeah, that's good. I want to continue your deal. Why aren't you moving, you? Oh man, if my troop transport ends up getting caught by this cruiser, I'm not going to be a happy capper. It looks like it's going to. Yeah, well, I want you bombing. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Like my troops and my troop transports are going to be fighting each other. Let's see how it goes. In the meantime, we have gotten our defensive stations, impulse thrusters. Well, looks like we're going for plasteel armors. It's funny, plasteel armors, I can't remember the very first time that I actually remembered that particular phrase, but it reminds me heavily of Star Drive 2, because that was the very first time I can remember seeing it offhand. Come on, shoot that Corvette down. We got a bunch of troop transports. And plasteel armor is actually a pretty good armor, so it makes me think of Star Drive 2, which is a far inferior game by all intents and purposes, except for its combat and perhaps its fleet, what do you call it, ship designer, because the ship designer was awesome in that game. Probably the best I've ever played in a 4X game, tell you the honest truth. Let's go to Rixum. Looks like we're still pretty close to our fleet cap, so we can't get this up and running. So our Federation is going to be as strong can be. We're at 87% of our potential war score goals, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Battle was pretty much determined earlier when this all came to be. As soon as we crushed their fleets, that was pretty much it. Oh, that's hilarious. Omicron Persei. If you're a Futurama fan, Omicron Persei 8 is a hilarious planet that you're going to have to visit one day. If you're not aware of Futurama, stop this video right now. Go onto Netflix or whatever provider that you have and watch that, because I can assure you it will not be you will not regret it. Due to their PG nature, unfortunately, I cannot quote nearly half of the major things that I want to when it comes to one of the robots' names. His name's Bender. So I'm just gonna zip it. So anyway, yeah, looks like our battle has commenced and it's pretty much done. What do we got here? I got some credits. Who wants some? We're still short on... Oh, we'll go society, I think, this time. And we will continue just doing our upgrades. Although, I'll tell you right now, an upgrade all option would be awfully nice. We're just mopping up, making sure his economy is completely crushed and has no chance of actually recovering and by any means are necessary. But in the meantime, I'm actually proving to be a little bit impatient here. Get going. It's obvious the horse faces are done. What do we got here? Some rivalries. Nothing to really worry about. Looks like our Sacred Ventritius 95. Okay. Can I get a hell yeah, please, on this one, please? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Oh, peace offer. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's the peace offer. That's what we were waiting for. At 95, there was really no point in it continuing, but you can see here my ally has extended his space exponentially. And we have liberated a few planets. Let's see which ones we did. Let's give me some info. Todd. You think I'd be able to pull that down and say, hey, what did I quote unquote win? Okay, so when you liberate a planet, it's in case you're playing Stellaris for the very first time, what happens is you end up changing that particular planet, its ethics completely to what your ethics are. So you can see here that he's changed to a spiritual seeker with the theocratic oligarchy. Oh, never get that right. Anyway, he is egalitarian, he's xenophile, and he's a spiritualist. So he's actually 100% what we used to be, or we currently are, sorry. And because of that, he absolutely loves us. We liberated him. His entire government is cordial to us. We could do, you know, any type of trade deal that we wanted to. Let's see what we got here. -2. But some minerals have changed that attitude. It's nothing. There's nothing better to knowing that that there are a lot of times what you can do is you can actually vassalize them or offer to be their or offer them to basically be absorbed into your population. The only difference is because you can see where I am in the RMP Republic down here in the south. The distance modifier is actually one of the determining factors that will let you know if they're really interested into or if they're capable of it. Everything's a bit of a modifier in this game. So the war is over and now we are in peace once again. The Gulf-Ripped Interstellar Empire, which is part of the Auspicious Alliance, which I'm a part of, reigns again supreme. Which is just awesome. And it looks like we've got 38 months until I've integrated the Saigagan Union, which pretty much make us, if not the most powerful, one of the most powerful factions in the entire universe. Get her. Ooh, well there you go. So it looks like the Zum Commonwealth, which used to be part of the Zum Stellar Concordiate, has asked to be the Gulf-Ripp's vassal. So essentially taking all diplomatic ties off the table because they can't speak for themselves, but in direct exchange for massive security. You're basically in charge. It's like being a babysitter until they're old enough to stand on their own 2 feet. And then you force them to become part of your house. So, you know, freedom. Heck yeah. But because it's always good when one of our allies end up getting larger and stronger, because quite frankly, that's what we want. Cause guess what, kiddos? As we start to round the year 2309, becomes apparent that we're gonna have to start at least thinking about the endgame crisis, which if I was to be a betting man would probably be the unbidden, but we'll see what happens. Looks like we've got our new research complete, the galactic markets, by engaging in free trade. I do believe we get a 20% modifier, if I remember correctly. No, we get a modifier of plus 10% credits, which is awesome for energy credits. The issue here is, oh, they've taken that out. It actually used to cause little bit of, I could be wrong on that, maybe it's a different one that I'm thinking of. The Galactic Stock Exchange used to give a little bit of unhappiness for some reason, but now it just seems like it costs influence. That's awesome. So what we're gonna do, what is this? Chemical bliss. Okay, this is just hilarious. Subdermal stimulation. Deep tissue implants are the latest innovation in this revolutionary overlapping of sensory, engineering, and entertainment experience. We don't need skin to feel. Where we're going, we don't need skin to feel. And if you look at the small little icon here, it looks like pills, needles, and a body pillow of the Blorg. So, wow. If you don't know what this is, it's an unlocking feature that you can give to your different species. And the reason that you might want to do that is because you're facing huge amounts of unrest, because the chemical bliss will essentially be like, you know, Brave New World when Soma came out. It makes everybody happy but dumb and docile, but their production levels go way, way down. Way down. I'm not interested in that. I want full-on production. So I think I'm going to take the Hollow Temple because I like Unity. Got 7 months of this still left. So, perfect. Get them back to Alberta Prime. Renew our trade agreement. Why not? How about I transfer some food? Would you like some food? No? Seems like really seems like food is not terribly valuable in this, at least in this game that I'm playing. And planetary administration. Everybody's pretty much doing what they should be. You can see here everybody's got a modifier. As soon as the migration occurs, your modifier kicks in, where you end up getting a happiness bonus just from modifying, right? Alright. Perfect. Yeah, so everybody's on the run. So, that being said, I think this is a good segue right now to kind of talk a little bit about our ally, the Grolf... Oh, great. Just when I started to get on a rant, the Grolfrep Interstellar Empire. They have an inferior fleet than this. And my concern is that they will eventually try to take us over. But at the same time, I shouldn't say take us over. I just don't want them spreading their authoritarian ways to the Army People Republic. We are one with friendship and freedoms. But we will kick a little butt and take a little names if need be. My only concern is that I'm having a hard time inviting other people into the Federation. Oh, they're already at war, that's why. Because he is authoritarian. Okay, what do we got here? Genetics, sure. Genetics in the engineering, that seems legit. Perfect. Wow. Looks like everything's kind of slowed down a little bit. So for a while there it was kind of hot and heavy. Everybody was kind of at war, and it seems like we're in a little bit of a rebuilding phase right now. What's this here? Interesting. Backy Hegemony wants the custodial. Oh, it's just a small liberated planet. Nothing to worry about yourself. Nothing to worry about yourself. The admiral has died, eh? Which admiral? We're all going to one fleet anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So what I'm going to do is I actually might just log off right now, because honestly right now we just got out of a war. We have a brand new leader who seems not interested in having any other aliens on our planet. And we're going to kind of... This is not good. War has been declared. Ooh, just as I said that. Looks like they have declared war against the Order of Jukathan, and I will use this. You can see here I've selected the Order of Jukathan. That's why he is blue, and you can see that whoever is red is who he does not like. So he's about as popular as a certain presidential candidate, or a certain president right now in the world. You know, some people like him in the green, but there's a lot of people who don't. So that being said, you can kind of give an idea. That being said, they have been at war several times together, and now the only thing about the situation that is interesting is the Republic of the Gonds Laksh, which looks a lot like our Blorg Friends, and the Zeltec Compact have been a federation since the beginning of time. So it'll be interesting to see how an equivalent fleet to mine, which puts them at about 13 to 16,000, and our Federation allies here are both inferior. So let's see if their friendship ways can guide them to victory. Ooh, and we got a tradition. And I'm spread out all over the place. I kind of would like to finish supremacy. Oh, I have been thinking about this particular build for a long time. Once I'm done this let's play, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of the absolutely crazy things you can do with some of these tradition builds that can like break the game. I really wish I had a little bit more time to kind of show it to you. Unfortunately, I'm kind of like role-playing a specific type, but keep posted to you here on eXplorminate, and I'll definitely show you. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to want to fill up supremacy, because I want one more ascension perk. So we had to choose which one we have now. This one here is called the Great Game. Unity output is increased by 10% per neighboring rival. I don't think I have any rivals. So we're going to take the, what's this one here? War Games, which gives us admiral skills have been increased by 2, because I actually don't. I'm about to vassalize one of my nations, and the only other border that I'm actually touching is with a friend and a federation. So that was the right pick. How much time do we have? 67 months. Sweet mother of pearl. Okay, everybody. So yeah, a little bit of a slower one. We ended up the war up with the what were they called again originally? The Zum Stellar Concordia. We ended up crushing them into the ground. My alliance, or so I should say my Federation buddy, Grolfrip in Stellar Empire, has proven his worth in battle. We have quite the stockpile right now of minerals. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to shore up my economy and go back to what we were originally talking about. What we were originally talking about is really digging deep and seeing if we couldn't fire off either the Enigmatic Fortress or the Dimensional Whore, or continue on with building our economy and our fleet. Either way, as always with Stellaris, there are so many options to choose from. Other than maybe preparing for the endgame crisis, which could happen, or one of the fallen empires awakening, I think I'm just going to fast forward, guys, a little bit. You can kind of have an idea of where the galactic map sits when it comes to diplomacy, who our friends and allies are, and next major event will be an exciting video. So this has been Army P for eXplorminate.net. Thanks for watching, guys.